We're down to 2 teams, so for double points, what is the name of the purple Teletubby?
Tinky Winky.
You're both correct.
As usual, I sat down on the internet and looked at watch for tonight. And funny enough, I came across Game Night. Now, Game Night stars Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman as they portray a couple. Now, the whole premise is, well, they love playing games, and, you know, that guy from Wolf of Wall Street, essentially Fingy Chandler, he's basically the brother of Jason Bateman's character. Now, essentially, apparently, well, the whole story revolves around him trying to essentially, in a way, he has a thing against his brother, and basically, I'll talk from the start, and basically, I'm just going to go through and just go with whatever. So essentially, it opens up with your average beginning of the playing a games night, and essentially, Jason Bateman's brother comes to town with his classic 1970s car, or something like that. And essentially, it was Jason Bateman's favourite car when he was a kid. Now, essentially, what occurs through the film is his brother, who I'm just going to call Chandler because I've totally forgotten the actual name of the character. I'll hold him in there. But essentially, because it's been, well, I say that, it's been like 2 days since I've watched it, but I'm just reviewing it now because there's a lot going on. But essentially, he wants to play a game, and essentially there's like a group of them, and they all go to Chandler's house because he's staying in town. Now, there's a huge jealousy rivalry between Bateman and Chandler, and it's basically, it's probably arguments where one thinks he's better and the other one tries to suck up. But essentially what happens is Chandler gets kidnapped, and, well, in all honesty, it's a great concept, and it's executed well. The jokes are pretty good, but to take you through the film, Chandler gets kidnapped, and essentially everyone else thinks it's a game because, you know, Chandler's, well, essentially set it up. Now, through the story, you see Bateman, Chandler, and Rachel McAdams come across, go against the mafia, and the comedy sense of it is very good. Now, essentially, the plot ends with, essentially, Bateman and McAdams, almost like they end up facing off with some guy. It tells you how long the film was, but essentially it was a very good film. Don't take my way I'm acting at the moment as anything off it, but essentially they come against some mob boss, and essentially want to kill Chandler because some Fabergé egg they have to rob. It's got like details of the FBI list, but essentially it ends up with Chandler revealing that he actually cheated throughout their entire childhood, and essentially that Bateman was cheated, and essentially that his wife, and it comes from the start. It was kind of inevitable that could happen, but it was in all honesty, the comedy aspects are brilliant. Rachel McAdams seems to be honest, she was brilliant in Red Eye, and she succeeds on the comedy side. And as much as I don't really particularly like Jason Bateman as much as maybe the average person was, he actually does an okay job. And that Chandler guy that I think was in Wolf of Wall Street, he did an excellent job. And honestly, I've mistaken him for Luke Wilson. He's kind of quite similar, but no, he's honestly quality. And honest to God, I think him and McAdams are the best parts of the film. And essentially, it's almost like a murder. It's not like a murder, but it's almost like it's more one of these. I'd say mystery / action / comedy. But at the end of the day, go watch it. It's a quality film, and essentially, yeah, it's probably gonna be I'd argue a 7 out of 10. Now, most recently on a lot of videos, you're going for 7s, but it's because it's not quite an 8 because there's certain aspects at some point that release of how it categorized, but essentially it's around a 7 out of 10. The comedy's good. It's actually kind of original. Honest to God, I'm probably going to watch it again tonight and possibly update this review, but very good film. Go watch it. I think it's on Netflix at the moment, and yeah, so I would love to say subscribe. I honestly don't care. And essentially, yeah. Good evening and goodbye from the Zelem.
Now, usually I don't do this, but